Hello. Oh, why do I have an echo? Did you hear that echo?
Yes, I don't know. Do I have an echo?
I don't hear it on your side. Okay, it doesn't matter. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Brickanista Broadcast Network. And I'm here with Remy on our What, When, Why Wednesdays episode. So the WWWW. I like alliteration. What can I say? It's fun. Ooh, yeah, we can do that.
The W.
It's like when people see us at a convention, this is like what, when, why Wednesdays. No echoes on your side. Hey, Spot the Magic Ninja. Hi,
coming soon to Disney Plus, the Echo miniseries.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that. I've actually been watching on Netflix Peaky Blinders. I'm almost done with season 5, and talk about it's scary.
Yeah.
It's made me think about the 1920s in a whole new way. And yeah, that whole culture I mean, I know it's fiction, but they are inspired by real gangs of Ireland and Birmingham and England.
I'm thinking of the wrong show. I'm thinking of the one with the werewolf and the vampire and Dr. Frankenstein.
Oh, this is Penny Dreadful. Not.
Penny Dreadful. I keep confusing Penny Dreadful.
Oh, Penny Dreadful.
With Peaky Blinders.
No, I haven't seen it. It's now. If you had a mashup,
it's set in the same era.
Penny Dreadful, Peaky Dreadful. We could call it, Peaky Dreadful. No,
that's okay.
Let's just say it can be so violent at times that I really do have to do the cringe and cover my eyes and kind of wait until I hear the violence is over and then watch it again.
It's basically the same show but without all the supernatural elements. Is Peaky Blinders.
Okay.
To Penny
but
Dreadful.
We're not here to talk about violent shows. We're actually here to talk
sidetracked immediately.
BrickConventions. Yes. Well, and for those of you who were tuning in to see Aubrey and talk about elves, she sends her regrets. We will be scheduling her at a future show. So what happened is that Remy and I were talking about what can we talk about? Because when we had that episode where we had invited 2 guests to talk about botanicals and neither one of them could show up, it was like, well, I think this is amaranth, and it turned out to be lavender. I had no idea what I was talking about. But I think what's great about this format is that it's what, when, why Wednesday. So you never know what the topic is going to be every week.
You really don't.
Seriously, we don't even know.
Yeah.
So, but I just wanted to say thank you, people, for tuning in. And this is right around the time that we're going to be going to a lot of conventions. There's a lot of people who are gearing up for the summer wave of conventions. So we figured, this would probably be a good time. I'm wearing my Bricks Cascade t-shirt from 2022. So 10-year anniversary. So congratulations, Bricks Cascade. And we were just going to talk a little bit about some people who've never been to a convention might be curious, what do you do to prepare for a convention? And so Remy, tell us, when was the first convention you attended?
It was like right before the pandemic. It was February of 2019. It was I forget what the exact name was, but it was in Raleigh. And it wasn't like an AFOL convention. It was just like a public thing where
like a one-day
you couldn't bring your MOCs. There weren't games or anything. But at that convention, I got to see Leah Chan Legos, just fabulous space MOCs. If you
nice.
Her MOCs in person, they're amazing. They light up. They emit smoke. They're really massive. I can't find any pictures because they're just gone. My computer has eaten them. So I apologize for that. But
that's okay.
I think it's Brick Universe.
That could be it. I know that I have never been to a Raleigh show, even though I got my start in Raleigh as far as starting to build Lego more regularly. But I didn't get plugged into the convention scene until I started in California, really getting more involved. And my first convention was Brickpalooza, which is very similar to the one you talked about in Raleigh, where it's just like a one-day event. It's
Yeah.
mostly open to the public. There's some mock builders who come around. It's not a recognized Lego event, because there are several that are recognized. And the first one I went to that was a fully recognized one was Bricks by the Bay. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, I think, I don't know if you had this experience, Remy, but when I went to my first convention, so Brickpalooza, it was eye-opening to see some of the massive builds that people had brought. So you had mentioned Leah Chan, is that right?
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to remember the guy's name, but he was an amazing boat builder. He had all these massive ships that were there. And then another person had their modulars that they had put together, but they were massive modulars, very similar to what you'll see at a convention, a regular convention.
One guy had recreated like most of Chicago in microscale, like most of the city of Chicago down to like the streets and the buildings, and that was pretty wild. But yeah.
So I also went to my first brick convention, Brickpalooza, for a student project, because I was at Santa Rosa Junior College and they said we needed to interview somebody and talk about, what their topic was. And in this case, I asked my instructor, I happen to know the owner of Brick Hut, and it was Caleb Raff. And I asked Caleb, hey, can I, do some video at your convention and also at your store? He was so accommodating, and he was awesome too, because that Batman here, let me see if I can get that in frame. Batman. He's the one who told me that Batman cutout. Yeah. Yeah. So I think both of us would say, if you really want to get plugged into the adult fan of Lego community, or just Lego fans in general, going to a convention is one of the best ways to do that.
Yeah, or if you just have something you're proud of and you want to show it off. You pay your entrance fee, anyone can display, just go nuts.
And it also depends on if you're an extrovert or an introvert. And maybe we should talk about what should you do to go to a convention to feel, to accommodate those two different ways that people look in the world. Hey, how's it going, Joel? Yeah. Remy, is your backlog behind you in that cabinet closet?
I have these are all like part of a different game called HeroClix.
Oh,
I haven't played in years. It's basically it's like chess, but you can use like any Marvel or DC character you want.
Oh, so have you been using your Lego Marvel characters for that?
No, it's like a game. You can. It's like kind of D&D.
Yeah, but you have
miniatures.
Little miniatures. Couldn't you replace those with Lego characters?
Oh, you could, but the characters are already there, and like it's set up in a way where like usually you need a lot of record keeping stuff to play D&D.
Yeah.
But with this, all the information is like contained on the figure.
Oh.
So.
Oh wow! Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
HeroClix, sick.
Yeah.
Thanks, Spot.
I don't know.
Which, by the way, Spot was on our show.
I'm gonna go grab one.
We're doing the Star Wars show. Thank you, Spot, by the way. And we're going to have him back. We've already booked him. Oops, wrong window. We've already booked Spot for October 30th. We're going to do a spooky show. So we're already kind of getting people put together like that. And so Remy's back.
Yeah.
Here we are. And so Joel wants to know, do you have the OG Hero Quest?
No, I don't have that, but I have, these are, this is Captain Marvel. And she has, all these numbers and all these colors mean a different power. And
very cool.
So you can this game has been out for like 30 years. So like this is an Iron Man. He's got all those powers. And Yeah, they basically made like any character you can think of in comics. They made it. That's all. So yeah, if you I will be at Bricks by the Bay. Like I got to get my ticket sorted out, but if you will also be at Bricks by the Bay, and you have a favorite comic book character, let me know, and I will bring you a HeroClix. They're not particularly valuable or anything. So,
do you have Batman?
Yes, they've made so many Namely, I already have a Batman picked out for you. Don't worry about
that.
Yay! They've made so many Batmans over the years.
Do they also have the villains or just the Batman?
Oh yeah. Like they made a set for the for like the Batman 66, all those villains. Like Burgess Meredith and Eartha Kitt and all those villains
Frank
are in.
Gorshin. Yeah.
Yeah, but they've made all of Batman's villains multi times. Yeah. So
Spot
really
was just saying the sculpting on HeroClix is so good, and he can't wait for Halloween too.
Yeah, but yeah, the Halloween show should be good. But but yeah.
Well, Bricks by the Bay is going to be a lot of fun. I'm super excited about that. And so part of what we wanted to talk about is I put on my graphic for the title card. I chose 4 different graphics. So one of them was Bricks Cascade, because I could talk about that because I just went to that a couple months ago. And then there's Bricks by the Bay, there is Brick World, and Brick Fair, because I have been to 2 of those. I've been to Bricks by the Bay and I've been to Bricks Cascade. I have not been to Brick Fair, but I know Remy has been to Brick Fair. And then Brick World, I don't think either one of us have been to Brick World.
No.
Right? But it is the largest of the various conventions that are out there. So, okay.
Yeah, so, Brick Universe and Brick Fair are the only 2 I've been to. Like night and day for those 2. Brick Fair obviously is... You just show up and do whatever, and there's parts drafts and games and all that stuff, and that was fun. Yeah.
So I think let's start first of all by chatting a little bit about, so Brick Fair and Brick Universe are not part of the Lego sponsored or endorsed conventions, just like Brick Palooza is not either, or the one in Raleigh. There's only really, I think, I want to say maybe 20 in the world that are fully endorsed by Lego. I've been to several virtually, but I haven't been to very many. I'd say the only ones really I've been to in person are Bricks by the Bay and then Bricks Cascade in person. But I also went to Bricks LA virtually. I went to Paredes de Curas, which is the one in Portugal. That one I went virtually as well. So I think one of the first things, just in my small experience, is each one has a different vibe or culture to it. And I've been to BrickCon. I forgot. I should mention BrickCon. That's right in my own backyard here. So if you are thinking about going to a convention, because it is an investment of time and money and just effort putting together your MOCs, you probably want to first of all figure out which one has kind of the vibe that you want to be in. And when I mention that, there are several of them, because they're adult fan of Lego conventions, official AFOL conventions. Some of them are exclusively AFOLs. They do not cater to kids. So for example, if you go to Brick Can, it's at a casino. So you cannot bring kids with you. So
you can do it once. Menu. That's it.
Now, here's a comment from Joel. Bricks by the Bay is not going to be fun because I will be there. My crankiness will make it terrible. Okay. Well, maybe you don't want to go.
I guess. Now, that's Bricks by the Bay is official Lego recognized.
Bricks by the Bay is official. And I probably should have set some of these aside. Let me see if I have them on my desk. But they do have these brick badges that you can get. That if you go to a recognized Lego fan convention, that you will get 2 bricks. Oh, you have one. Awesome. Okay, well, that one's actually Brick Fair, but it's the same kind of
that's the
concept.
only one that I have.
If you want to go ahead and show that again.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
So one thing you'll find is that the brick badges, the Brick Fair Virginia, it has the date. And I'm glad you showed the back, because the back has this magnetic backing to it. And if you had a recognized fan one from Lego, it actually has printed on the back, recognized by Lego.
Oh,
and let me see if I can find one while you're on full screen. In fact, I'm going to leave you on full screen, because I think I know where I can find one of these. I just did some rearranging, so.
All mine does is caution me against using it with a pacemaker. Mine is not cool enough. Magnetic device. So yeah.
I'm keeping you on full screen while I look.
No, that's neat. And you know, it's nice to have that. I didn't know that existed. One thing that they did give it as part of my swag at Brick Fair VA is this 2x3 printed tile, and you could print basically whatever you wanted on it. So I wanted to get my October edibles build, just so I could have it and put it in a MOC someday. I guess hang it on the wall or something. But yeah, they gave me this all disassembled. And I was like, what are all these bricks for? Like, what am I doing with this? Like, I had no idea what to do with it. And they're like, no, you put it together. It's your badge, dude. I was like, oh, okay. Just clip it on here. No, I'm not going to do it, but y'all get the idea. Y'all understand magnetism. It works.
Well, I can't find them right now. And trust me, we just planned this like in the last 24 hours. So we didn't know what we were going to talk about until like yesterday. But so let's go back to, there's a difference between the badges that Remy just showed and then your official badge. So this is my official badge. Lighting in here. There we go. So this is my official badge from Bricks by the Bay. And you'll notice there's a QR code. I'm sorry, Bricks Cascade. There's a QR code on the side. Now, what will happen is they usually have these large events, like the kickoff event. Every day, there's usually like a big all hands kind of meeting where everybody will be there. And then that's when they do the raffles. So one of the things you absolutely should do is make sure you scan your badge. There'll be at the entrance, there'll be a scanner there, or there'll be people there holding a scanner. So you've got to scan your badge if you want to get the free swag. Yeah. And I say free in quotes, but one year I got an elf set, the white dragon one, where I think it's called the Queen's Dragon Rescue.
Oh, the Queen's Dragon. Oh, man.
Queen's Dragon Rescue I got at Bricks Cascade in 2020.
Amazing.
And that was an amazing set. And I got that as part of this raffle because they part of the reason why some of these are recognized by Lego is Lego sends all of these kits to these conventions. So I got that. So if you think about it, a registration might cost you $100 for 4 days worth of entertainment. And you get back some of the swag from those kinds of things, as well as games. So the other reason why you want your badge is that you should register for the games ahead of time, and they'll scan your badge to be part of the game as well. Those dragons are awesome. Lucky you.
Yeah, it's like saying, here's your brick of gold for attending the convention. Here you go. That's what that set is.
I love that set. I built it and I've used it for a couple different MOCs. But but the point is that if you're just looking at the registration fee, for Bricks Cascade, they had 2 different levels. They had one level that if you did not want to participate in the giveaways, then you could just register. I think it was a difference of $60. I think you register for $40 and you can just register your MOCs. And you could be part of the show. You can go to all of the events. The only thing is you can't get the swag. But if you register at the full fee, which I think was $65 or $75, then you got to participate in also the raffles and things. So here's a couple tips. Tip number one is make sure that you always scan your badge. So I mentioned that. So the other part of that is when you're signing up for games, you really have to look at the schedule closely. And I failed to do this because I pre-registered for games, but when my slot came up, I was so busy building my Micropolis modules that I completely forgot. And one of the benefits of going to a game is not necessarily to win. A lot of people go to win. So for example, one game might be the box build. That's where they just give you the box and they say, we're not going to give you any instructions. You have the box, you have the pieces, just build a photo. Okay. Yeah. So I did that 2 years ago at Bricks Cascade. And then at the end of the event, they say, okay, you get to keep the set. Yeah. So regardless of whether you win or not, you still get to keep something. Yeah. Hey, Brick Jedi, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. We're talking about conventions and what to do at conventions. So another thing that was really beneficial is when you go and talk with the registration desk, sometimes they have changes in the program. And one of those is the games that sometimes people can't make it to a game, so they cross their name off the list. So every day you should go to the registration desk and just see if there's a game that maybe 3 people dropped out of, because then you can put your name on the list so that they have a full roster. Oh, Slug Biker is here. Hey, how's it going?
Welcome, Slug Biker.
And how's it going? Also, Aloha, Brickstress. Brickstress is here? I didn't see her come in. Okay.
Well, hello, Brickstress, wherever
Aloha.
you are. But yeah, it's always, if there's something you want to do, it doesn't hurt to show up a few minutes early and say, hey, can I get on the wait list? That's how I got into a Tower of Orthanc parts draft, and I got a Saruman out of that. So I was pretty excited about that.
So, and Slug Biker got your Muppets today. Congratulations. Nice. So I'm good. Yeah. Full sets. I am still missing Fozzie Bear. Fozzie Bear is the last one I need. So if anybody out there has one to trade, let me know.
Yeah, I'm also missing Fozzie, but trade it to Naomi. I can wait. I'm fine.
So we're talking right now about things to do to prepare before you actually go walk on the convention floor. Another thing to prepare for is something called drafts. So what will happen is usually about 3 to 4 weeks before the convention, they will announce the draft kit. And that means that they're going to take this kit and they're going to part it out. And then you will be part of a group, usually between 8 to 10 people, where you'll be able to pick parts from all of the ones that have been separated out. And that is a great way to get some parts that maybe are harder to find in multiples. And that might be minifigs. For example, there was one of those hidden side sets that had those ghost dogs to it.
Ooh.
So when you part out, everybody brings the same set. So if you and I, Remy, were in this draft, we would, along with 8 other people, have the same set. We would part all 8 sets out. So there's, let's say, 8 to 16 of those dogs that during your round of the draft, you might pick, you might end up with 4 or 5 dogs if you wanted to. Shy time is my time. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you.
Welcome
to the stream. We're talking about conventions, and we're talking about how to prepare for a convention. So we talked about your name tag. Make sure that you scan it every time you come in. Looking at the games, what games are available. So you'll have to register. You should pre-register before the convention, probably 3 to 4 weeks beforehand. And I'm going to give you an example because I have Bricks by the Bay and a chance to register for some games. So we might even do that right now. But the other thing we talked about is drafts. So if anybody's interested in those kinds of things, when I did the hidden side, I think it was the shrimp boat. The other thing that I really thought was fun was that the fisherman one the minifig with the octopus as
with
well.
with
I
the
think
weird
I got
head.
2 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a great way to get
Yeah.
multiples of things.
Like parts drafts are really addictive too. Like because there's always like, oh, what do I want next? I want that. I want that. I hope nobody takes that. And
you
that's
should
what I
also, since we're talking about drafts, here's another tip. When you're looking at the draft table, have 2 or 3 options every time, because you might be eyeing one piece and then somebody before you takes that cup of pieces, then you're like, oh, okay, what do I do next? So my first time at a draft, I was like clueless, and I was eyeing certain parts. And then when they were gone and it came to my turn, I took a long time to figure out what was the next thing that I wanted. And then don't forget too, that if you didn't get something, you could also, after the game is over, you can negotiate with people. So one thing that some people do is, for example, they'll get the whole pile of stickers. And they don't do that because they want all those stickers. They want the stickers for trading. So just if you're thinking about a draft, you might want to go for the stickers first because they make for really good trade value. Or if you do like the stickers, you keep them. But just have 2 or 3 options in mind every time it goes around. I hope I explained that right.
Yeah. You always, because there's always something good, even if the thing you want gets taken, you're always like, oh, well, these parts are better than these other parts, or I need this color or that kind of brick, etc. That's the first parts draft I did was the Emma's Fashion Shop. And so I ended up just taking all the skirts because nobody wanted them. And the skirts have just opened up a whole new realm for me. So,
well, especially if it's skirts from Friends.
Yeah.
Or are you talking about because the pants versus the skirts on the minifigs?
Yeah, they're actual like cloth parts. They're like
nice.
one is like shiny gold and the other is shiny magenta. So, yeah, I made a fish out of them at the convention because they look like scales to me.
Oh, that's right.
So,
I remember that.
Yeah, but look, I will be bringing a skirt build to Bricks by the Bay, so look forward to that.
Okay. Well, here, since we're talking about before the convention, I have behind the scenes, I have a window open of Bricks by the Bay. So we're going to show you first the home page. So here's the home page for Bricks by the Bay. So this is the one that's taking place in San Jose. It's going to be on June 23rd through the 26th in Santa Clara. And when you go to these sites, this drives me crazy because each one is so different. And sometimes getting into the registration is part of the challenge. So for us as adult fans of Lego, we want to go into the Builders Convention over here on the right. But there is a public exhibit as well. And you notice here they put in red, tickets below are only viewing and purchases of Lego and Lego related accessories. You cannot participate in convention activities. So that goes back to making sure you register for the right thing.
Yeah, don't get lumped in with the public.
So I'm already logged in on another screen, but you'll see here that if I click on this registration info, that this explains the registration process, which is a little convoluted, and we're not going to go through that a lot here, but just if you're having problems with it, it's not just you. This particular website is a little challenging. So we didn't want to burden you with all of that. So we're going to show you, but I should check the chat though first before I share the other screen. You made a seahorse out of them, totally fins.
That's cool. No, I did not see that seahorse. I'll have to check your page out. But yeah, that's a good idea too.
Spot, if you're not following Spot the Magic Ninja, by the way, he's got some really good stuff out there.
I mean, I'm sure I am. It's just that you know how it is. Like if it's not on a reel, they don't show it to you. You know.
So Lena asks if I'm going to be there to represent the Brick Scouts. We're going to segue to that after this portion of the program, but we just started a new group, just for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. Last Thursday or the Thursday before, we created this thing called the Brick Scouts. It's still in formation. We're still trying to figure that all out. So Yeah, you found that out with Bricks Cascade searching, found the public entry. You had to work to find the builder's registration page. Right, exactly. So just a forewarning, trying to go onto the builder's site could be kind of a bit of a nightmare. But I do want to show you. So let me share my other window. Is that I do have the actual builders section. So, all right. So here's the builder's account. And within Bricks by the Bay, you can have groups of people. So I have actually 2 contractors who work for me, and I'm treating them to this convention.
Ooh.
Since we're celebrating this account that we've been working on. So here's, my information. Yes, you have my phone number. That's okay.
No, we'll blur that out later.
Redact that later.
We'll post. We'll just.
I'm not too worried, but I probably should redact it out. But what I wanted to show you is that you see here they have workshops. I did not register for the workshops, but they have these workshops that have an extra fee. And you notice that it says Thursday from 10 to 12 and Thursday from 4 to 6. So one thing that's a little different about Bricks by the Bay versus some other conventions is that they have a full day where they just separate out workshops for that. So if you didn't know about that and you just showed up and it'd be like, oh, it's Thursday. And if I had known, I could have registered for the GBC morning edition. And that also helps with planning too. And then the other thing I should point out here is these printed bricks. So if I wanted to, for example, I could say, I want Brickanista on my badge and for brick number 1, and it's $3. And you could have, several of them. Now, the problem is it doesn't tell you what color it is right here. So you have to ask around, what color is brick number 1, brick number 2, and brick number 3?
Oh,
so there are some issues with that.
Did you know that?
I've already purchased the adult early ticket and this thing called an event kit.
Yep.
So the event kit, for those of you who don't know what an event kit is, let's see. I thought I saw one here. I have one close by.
Event kits are great. No matter what convention you're going to, if they offer you an event kit, buy it. It's always like a great value.
It's exclusive. So let me stop sharing for a moment so I can show you this kit. Because this one, I mentioned that I went to the virtual convention for Paredes de Cura in Portugal. So I didn't physically go there, but I signed up for the kit. And this is the kit. In fact, I should make myself.
Oh, that's cool that they mailed that to you. That's cool.
They mailed this to me.
Yeah.
And here's a couple things. You notice here it says exclusive gift set. Lego does not allow you to sell these anywhere else but the convention. So there are only, I think, 200 of these in the world, something like that, 200, 300. And you can see that says, I guess 6, 10, 21, because, their numbers are different than ours. The Ricky plane. I got so much in my swag, but the other problem, and you're going to laugh when I tell you this, Remy, my kit was stuck in customs in Miami for, I think it was 7 months because it was in May and I didn't get my kit until I returned to Arizona from Arizona. So it was and even the day of the convention, they had T-shirts in there in my box. They had those hidden, what's it called, the blind bags in my box, and it was held up in customs all that time. So so get the swag, sign up for the swag because they only sell it at the convention. So if you forgot to sign up for it, make sure you go early to make sure that you can buy one, because otherwise you may not be able to get one because they only will sell it at the get. Steve's Brick Cave is here. Hey, good day, mate. How are you? Steve and I met at Sort Lug, and he forgot that he had met me before. But welcome. Good day.
Yes,
How are you? He's in Australia, in Melbourne. Good to see you. So yeah, so we're talking about conventions. We're talking about, you know, what to do at a convention. I had mentioned early on about registering. So let me go back and share the screen too, because we want to talk about registering your MOCs. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
All
Which
right.
I still need to do that.
Yeah, I haven't done it either. I
still
might
need to
be able
finish
to
building
find
them.
one that I could do, but let's just say all right, so I talked about the purchase history, right? And we talked about the event kit. And here's the section where it says active MOCs. So active means you will bring this MOC to this year's convention. Approved means it's been approved by the theme coordinator. So at the moment, I have no active MOCs. Please add or activate existing MOCs. So one thing, if I click on this, hopefully it will not make me a liar, is that it will go through my history and show any MOCs that I have already filed. So now in this case, I don't think it has that. But here's another point about filing MOCs. Every convention is different. In this case, this is the section you want to look closely at, this theme description. So I have, in fact, this is a perfect example. I had a MOC that was the Spice Girls as pirates. It's a mashup. So you would normally maybe file it in a pirates, or you might file it in pop culture, right? And if you look at these descriptions, so art, castle fantasy, junior builder, teen builder, military, pop culture, robotics and mechanisms, great ball contraptions, scale models, space and science fiction, town and train, right? So in my case, having that, the best category is pop culture, right? Because of the Spice Girls section. It really wouldn't fall under military. It might fall into castle, fantasy, and historical. So when you're not sure which one to file it under, the best thing to do is to reach out and ask for the theme coordinator and say, hey, this is what I have. Should I put it into castle, or should I put it into pop culture? Where should I put it? And that goes back to whether or not the theme coordinator has approved it. Let me go back to the chat, see if I can catch up on the chat. see what's happening there.
Oops.
Okay, so Brick Cave, you're doing well. You glad I checked to see what was happening on YouTube? Oh, cool. Yeah, we've been doing these What, When, Why Wednesdays for the last, I think, 5 weeks.
Yeah, 5 or 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So good to see you here.
We were anticipating Lego Masters Season 3 starting, but now
yeah, we were preparing.
The Fox Network has screwed us.
Yeah, well, but they just postponed it, right?
Yeah.
They just postponed it, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's work season for you right now. Good to see you, mate. So yeah, I think actually this might be the first time we've had an Australian in the What, When, Why Wednesdays chat. So welcome. All right, so let's go back to talk about this convention. So it's just, you know, you insert your MOC name here, and then you pick the category, right? And it's just a pull down menu. So you might say, okay, it's going to go into pop culture. And then it gives you the option too about, do you have a video link? Because sometimes you may want to show, in my case, my very first MOC was actually a film. I did a 20-second brick film. It was terrible, but it was called Snake Bite. And that was back in 2019, 2018, something like that. Okay, here, does this MOC sit on the floor instead of sitting on a table? So, you know, sometimes you're going to have MOCs like that.
I've seen MOCs
Spider-Man
like that.
Universe multiverse one was had one component that was on the floor and then 3 modulars that were on the table. Okay, so here's another important one. Is this a collaboration? Because we're going to be doing the Mega Micropolis Metropolis Multiverse, which will be in microscale, but I've got to figure out where the microscale is. Because that's the other thing. And then here's another thing that is different for every convention. This one, they want you to tell them in inches rounded up to whole numbers. Okay. Other conventions will ask for studs.
Yeah.
How many studs is this?
How many
So
base
this one
plates?
will be in inches. So you have to measure it and make sure you know. This is also becoming more prominent. Is some MOCs are requiring electrical. Others, they run on their own power. For example, P.T. McEwen, he likes to bring one of those jackeries with him because the jackery can self-power pretty much anything. He doesn't need to be near an outlet. These kinds of things. And let's see, display, normal display. I guess you have no other choice.
Yeah. Normal or through the fourth dimension.
Yeah.
No.
And then this is where you can choose your photos. So if you're getting ready to go to a convention, you don't want to wait until the day before, the 19th, which is the deadline for this one, to start loading your MOCs, right?
Oh, wow. That's tomorrow, isn't it?
No, we're talking about the 19th of June.
June. Okay. Oh, man.
Yeah, we still are
panicked for a
fine.
second.
Now, in this case, too, they have this question, have you won in a previous year? Because some people bring their MOCs year after year. And in this particular case, they don't allow MOCs to win more than one time.
Yeah,
so
because that's
they will
boring,
put, they're happy to have your MOC. So I'm going to, if I bring the Spice Pirates, I won an award a couple of years ago, then I would say, yes, it won an award previously.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be disqualified for winning, which I like because it's kind of, there are some conventions where the same person wins year after year with a similar kind of MOC. So anyway, so this is kind of what the interface looks like when you're trying to register. So this is all stuff before the convention, right?
Spot is wondering how outlets are shared at conventions. Usually, well, this was the case at Brick Fair, Virginia. They had there was like a cluster of 4 outlets kind of embedded in the convention floor. And generally people are good about like, hey, I need this outlet. Can I possibly move over here? People are good about sharing, So like I've never needed an electrical thing, but maybe someday.
Maybe it's becoming more prominent, especially now that they're doing after dark sessions.
Yeah, let me tell you, like the after dark is incredible, or at least it was at Brick Fair, Virginia. Like, especially they had the Great Ball contraption, all contrapted together, and then they lit it up after dark, and I was like, okay, I get it now. I'm a GBC fan.
It's a whole new game.
Yeah.
I tell you, it made me start rethinking my MOCs. And going back to Spot's question about how outlets are shared, this goes back to very closely talking to your theme coordinator long before you get there. Because another problem is that people will show up with this, enormous MOC expecting an outlet there. And if they haven't talked to the coordinator ahead of time, they may have already assigned it to somebody else. So that's why I was mentioning if you're local and you can drive, P.T. McEwen talks about using a jackery. For those of you who don't know what a jackery is,
I don't know.
Essentially a portable power outlet source that'll run for about 10 hours. And it's not a generator. It doesn't make a lot of noise. And it can be powered by solar energy panels. And it's very popular with campers. And in fact, I'll put it into the chat, the name of the company, Jackery. So if you just look at Jackery, they have a variety of models and they're not too expensive. I think you could probably get a base model for like, a couple $100, but you can use it for, going camping, use it, when you're out tailgating, you can do it for a variety of things. And yes, Steve, it is Thursday for you. I forgot. It's Thrifty Thursday for you. That's when I broadcast.
Yeah, he's probably disappointed that we're not talking about like a $10 Lego set right now. Here, we can talk about this one if you want.
Okay. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I stream Thursdays at 9 p.m. Pacific, and it's Thrifty Thursday, usually $20 or less. And I'm going to look for that Stunts bathtub. I don't know if it's out already. but if it is, I'm going to look for that.
Mhm.
Okay, so about going back to Lego Masters Season 3,
Yeah.
postponing it to the fall. It could be that
Yeah.
it might be that they're going to have
You
higher ratings
know,
in the fall.
probably
It
because
could also be their
yeah.
editing team is behind.
Well, no, it's probably they have confidence in the show and it's like a good season, so they want to put it in sweeps week where it'll, get a lot of
Yeah,
attention and people will like it more, I guess.
that could be the
So, but
case.
yeah, it's a good thing
We
probably for them.
started preparing for this show because
Mhm.
it shows in the US on a Tuesday evening. And then we were going to do it the next day as a spoiler show because that's
Yeah.
what we did last season. So Remy and Yano started it, and then Yano and I finished the rest of the year, and now Remy and I are going to do this year.
Yeah.
So we were just, we had it all planned out. We said, let's build a following.
Mhm.
Let's start early. And then, yeah.
And it's annoying, but it's probably good overall, like for the show. So that's okay.
Right.
And of course, have studs here with the hottest take. Lighting is a fad. Sir, have you looked at the stars? The stars are not going away. So yeah.
Yeah,
Lighting
and
will
then
always be
Spot
here.
also mentions that lit up GBC was so sweet too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Steve, you haven't taken a mock to the same show twice? Okay. Yeah, you do hate the awards side.
Yeah,
Yeah. Gets dragged on the stage twice. Exactly.
it's
It's
kind
kind
of
of like,
annoying. Like
yeah. That's a whole new topic too. We could talk about
talk about awards.
things that
Talk about
annoy us about Lego. No, we could
the
talk
soul
about,
crushing thing of not winning award.
well, it's the whole idea of the awards, right?
Mhm.
Which, since we're still talking about conventions, okay, we've talked about a lot about the before, and
Mhm.
there's one more thing I wanted to mention. Bricks Cascade put out a checklist to prepare before you show up to the convention, and their website is down. I reached out to um, the manager or the co-coordinator there, and he said, yeah, the website's been down for a while, but if I get my hands on it, I will forward it to people who want it. But it was a really good checklist because it talked about, just maintenance things like making sure you have snacks that are packed, some water, multiple pairs of shoes, because it's on a concrete floor. So sometimes being able to change between shoes helps your feet adjust as well. I mean, there's a lot of things that you don't necessarily think about. Then there's also a checklist for working with your Lego. So one of them, for example, is those padded tweezers, because inevitably you may need your brick separator. You're going to need some, padded tweezers. You're going to need
Mhm.
those little things that you said, oh, I wish I had that with me. So I will see if I can get a copy of that, because I tried to download it before the stream, but just wanted you to think about this, that don't forget, in addition to your mocks, anything you need to support the mock.
Yeah.
And I have another kind of quick story is that I met Ferg Pons when I was at Bricks by the Bay in 2019, I think. Yeah. And then he had this Avengers tower, and he came from Seattle and he set this up, and there was one piece missing in his Avengers tower, and it was right at eye level, this gaping
Ooh.
hole. And it was driving me crazy. And
Was it the
said,
A?
"That doesn't bother me." So I brought all my dark gray pieces. I said, dude, would you just fix that hole? You just fix that. So sometimes it's also good because the vendors usually don't set up and are available for sale until usually the Friday. So yeah, you definitely gotta be wary about having extra parts, etc.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of chat going on right now.
Yeah.
So
Lena, I think Joel was just joking about lights being a fad.
well, Slug Biker brings up a good point
Yeah.
about if you want to watch Lego Masters, you
Yes.
have to pay the full price for Hulu, unless you wait till midnight, because then they'll broadcast it at midnight, which is what I usually do.
Well, also to that end, if you want to watch the first season of Lego Masters UK or the first 3 seasons of Lego Masters Australia, all of those are free on Tubi right now, TUBI. So
How much is Tubi?
it's free. It's you
Oh,
don't have to pay anything. You don't have to register. It's just one of those free streaming services that, you know.
well, this is probably a good small segue to ask the chat, because now that Lego Masters Season 3 has been postponed for the US, would you like us to continue and maybe pick up Lego Masters Australia? Lego Masters New Zealand just started. There's a couple different options there. So think about that
Yeah,
while we're talking.
you know, yeah, if you have ideas for themes that you want to see, like
Right.
maybe you want to see a show about Creator 3-in-1, or maybe you want to see a show about gift with purchases, you know, just let us know. The worst we can say is no.
Well, I guess the question is, our intent with this show, as we started it 5 weeks ago, knowing, at least at the time, that Lego Masters Season 3 was going to start, and
Yeah.
we had it all planned out. But now
We
that
didn't
they
have to
pushed
think
it
about
out,
it,
that's going
you
to
know?
give us like a 12-week block that
Yeah.
we're going to either have to fill or maybe stagger. I don't know. We
Yeah.
still
So
have to figure
Naomi
that
had
out.
like the crazy idea of, hey, let's ask people what they want to see
let's
and give it to
give
them.
an opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You
Vicarious
know,
Brickstress, aloha. Yes, great tip
yeah,
about Tubi. So
that's
I'm going to
his,
have to
it's
check
Tubi.
that out. So
Yeah. So we
maybe
could,
if it seems like people are interested in about the Lego Masters show that we do, so
yeah,
maybe we should do that as if
we,
we're seeing it for the first time,
mhm.
because I
We
haven't
could,
seen any of the Lego Masters
mhm.
Australia shows in its entirety. I've only seen the
Australia
clips
is,
on YouTube.
yeah. Yeah, because that's, you know, due to international broadcasting restrictions, they can't like show
Mhm.
it here in the US. It's super annoying. But season 3 of Australia is very, very good. So we could go
Well,
through
I
that.
know one of the members on there too, Kirsty, as Brick Princess Buttercup.
Oh,
She's participated in the hashtag Daily Brick Limit.
mhm.
So
Oh, yeah. Also,
okay,
that's
so
the
we'll
season with
ask the chat.
Fleur and yeah,
Keep
Sarah and Fleur.
thinking, keep
Yeah.
thinking, and maybe we will make a
Mhm.
decision, because we were going to next week. We were going to do a retrospective of Lego Masters Season 1 and 2
Mhm.
before Lego Masters Season 3 starts.
Yeah.
So maybe it says people like the Aussie show.
Yeah. Shout out.
So a shout out to Brick Princess Buttercup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kirsty, that's right. Okay. So
Yeah, they
back
have
to conventions.
your challenges.
Okay. We've talked about what to do before you get to the convention. What do you do when you get to the convention? So here's one
Whatever
tip.
you want. Spoiler alert.
No,
No,
not whatever you want.
no.
There is an order. I'm serious. There is an order.
There
If
is.
you want to get the best benefit out of going to the convention, I think my personal thing that you should absolutely do first is, if there's a set or set of pieces that you're looking for, this is where you need to check out all the vendors, see what they're selling, and make a plan for how you're going to start purchasing early. Because if you are looking for, let's just say, okay, so some of you know that I just put up this Scooby-Doo, you can see it right there. Yeah, so Scooby-Doo, I just found that cutout when I was in Arizona. So now I'm like, okay, I got to start loading up on Scooby-Doo sets. But where am I going to find those? I'm going to find them
Nowhere.
at the convention. So if
Yeah.
you're seeing me at Bricks by the Bay, you know what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be scoping out all of the vendors, looking at their prices, seeing what they have as Scooby-Doo sets, so that I can start building my collection, right?
Mhm.
So I think if you are serious about any particular kinds of sets, like we were talking about elves, that
Yeah, like
Aubrey
if,
is big on
you
elves.
know,
You
there's always
can't get
people there
elves
with old
unless you go
sets.
to, say, a Bricks
Yeah.
and Minifig store. So go to a convention with the intention of spending money,
Yeah.
because it will be, you'll have, I know, 5 or 6 vendors to choose from, right?
Yeah, this was my mistake. You know, I didn't know what I was getting into when that first convention, because there were vendors there. They had a bunch of old Speed Champion sets, old elf sets, like super cheap ish. And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want any of that stuff. And now I'm kicking myself because I had to go find them all later at much, much greater prices. But
Yeah, and the other thing too is, if you know of somebody, like Remy and I know we're both going to be at the convention, right?
mhm.
So if I know he's got something that he's trying to swap, this is where you start working out swap times too, ahead of time.
Yep.
So there's a lot of chat about, it seems like Lego
Yeah,
Australia seems to be winning.
yeah, Lego Masters Australia is great. They have like the least drama and kind of the best challenges that I've
Yes.
seen. But yeah, like people in the Lego community, we know why we watch Lego Masters. You know, we want to see the building, we want to see the techniques, we want
Right.
to learn something,
Which
all that.
Australia tends to do more of.
Yeah.
Ours is more drama. And yes,
You
Steve's
know, in
Brick
the
Cave.
US
For those
though,
of you who have not seen Steve's Brick Cave's mock, he took the Scooby-Doo van. He put a black skin on it and put Batman hubcaps on it.
oh nice.
So it's a Batman Scooby-Doo
Batman.
mashup. And everybody knows I love Batman. And now you know I love Scooby-Doo. So it's the better mystery machine, right?
Yeah, no, that's cool. I don't think Batman ever had a van. I don't think so.
We need to make the Batman van.
Do you need? Well, no, he's done it though, or is it the?
No, he did a Scooby-Doo van with Batman colors.
Okay.
But what if you had a Batman van? You know, almost like the one that was in Stripes. Do you remember that van, the motorized vehicle in Stripes? That movie?
That was so long ago.
You know,
no,
like
I don't remember that movie.
Roll up windows, or what do they call them? The roll up steel doors, and they had machine guns and other things. Yeah.
All I remember from Stripes
exactly. We need the Batman. Okay.
Jack.
So Steve, you've got your assignment. Yeah. Now you've got to work on the Bat van. The urban assault vehicle. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Stripes had something called the urban assault vehicle. Look it up. Maybe I need to mock that, actually. That would be a funny mock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. T's van from A-Team. Yeah.
A-Team, yeah.
I think, didn't they make an A-Team van? I thought they did.
I don't know. You know, my Lego history is very limited, but I don't recall seeing an official A-Team van. So.
Oh, maybe not. Okay. And Spot, thank you. He's impressed that I pulled out that Stripes reference.
Yeah, that's the fact, Jack. That's all I remember from that movie.
Boom chugga lucka lucka boom chugga lucka lucka boom chugga lucka lucka boom.
I just remember watching it, and I'm sitting there, and like Egon and Venkman are in the movie, and there's no ghosts at all, and I was very confused. But
all right, well, we're gonna work on the Bat van. It's gonna be something, and maybe this is oh, there's some more. I remember they had to steal it from a German base. Yeah, Stripes is gold. Exactly. That's a great movie. All right, so going back to what else should you plan for before and while you're at the show? So swaps. There are sometimes special rooms. I know it sounds kind of shady, but they will set up special rooms or lobby areas specifically for people to do sales or swaps. So know where those are. And if you have things that you want to sell, that's the place to do it. You don't do it on the showroom floor. That's a no-no.
Yeah, there's like a designated
against the vendors. Yeah. Yeah, but there's a lot of swapping that goes on, which is great. So sometimes what will happen is when you get your swag bag, you'll get a bag full of spare parts, just kind of random parts. Boy, the chat is going crazy for that movie, Stripes.
I like the.
I think we're all going to have a watch party, right?
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I am Batman.
Yeah, I am Batman. Yes.
Batman.
Yeah. Oh, you have a Scooby coaster too? Okay, we're going to have to check out Brick Cave. Definitely.
Did the Lego?
You are puntastic. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Going back to swaps. Okay, so if you get your swag bag, you may get a bag full of just random parts. One year I got clear lifter arms. They're the Technic lifter arms that are clear, and I think they're really long. They're I think like 15 or 14 or 16 pins long. So those are really valuable, and I use those to trade with some other people, because those are hard to find. And I got them in a swag bag, so I didn't have to pay for them, but yet I had this something I could trade with. Oh, what about Dirty Brickster? Good question. So this goes back to when we were talking earlier about drafts, that there'll be a declared set that you should buy so you can participate in the drafts. Dirty Brickster is similar to a white elephant exchange, for those of you who are familiar with that during the holidays. And what you do is you buy a set, usually $20 value, and you wrap it so nobody knows what it is. And then there is a gift exchange. And
this is
usually
also
that's
very fun
in the program. Yeah. That's an officially endorsed thing in the program. The swaps depends on the convention, because sometimes the swaps are like on the side, like you find out in a Discord server where the room is, because they don't print it in the program, because then that goes against the vendors, right? Because the vendors are trying to sell. It depends on which one you're at. The Scooby coaster is sick. There's a video, right? Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Is there an official Lego set that's a Scooby-Doo roller coaster?
No, I think it's a mashup. I think Steve does mashups, because he did the mashup of the Batman and Scooby-Doo van. Yeah, Steve, you and I need to chat more, because I'm big into mashups too. I was talking earlier about registering your MOCs. Like this year, I made the Pandas of Penzance, which is pandas on a pirate ship. So that went into pirates. It could have gone into, I don't know, maybe where else could that have gone? Oh, it could have gone into the harbor collab. So
yeah, but it's not, you're not out in the parking lot buying something from the back of a guy's trunk. You're in the convention space. It's fun.
It's not really an underground per se.
Yeah.
It's just that for a courtesy for the vendors, it's usually not during the same time as the vendors are out too.
Yeah.
So let's just say the show closes at 5. Then usually the swaps might take place around 7 in the evening. So you have time to go get dinner and you come back, and then you can do your swaps too. Send a pizza delivery kid to catch a notorious criminal.
Yeah.
Wow, the chat, you guys are on fire today. My God, look at this. Brickster escaped from Lego Island jail. Okay, all right. So what else should we talk about? You're at the convention. Another important thing to do is look for the people who you want to meet in person. So Remy and I have yet to meet in person. We've been doing this show. We've known each other, I think, about 1.5 years now.
Who even knows?
Who knows? But we have not met.
We're on opposite coasts, so
yeah. So I'm so looking forward to Bricks by the Bay, because we're going to be able to meet in person for the first time. So if there are certain people that you want to meet with, definitely set up a time where you can chat, or even better, which is another segue, is collaborate. Is you can do a collaboration ahead of time. And that's what I did with PT McEwen and also Zonker Harris when we went to Bricks Cascade. And I participated in 5 collabs. Can you believe that?
So many collabs. Like
5 collabs at Bricks Cascade. Yeah, well, and that, I guess that kind of goes back to planning ahead of time too. Is that in 2020, I saw the Jurassic Park collab, and I asked them, I said, how do you get in on this? And also I knew one of the builders, so he kind of vouched for me. And they said they needed a veterinary services hospital. So I said, okay, I can do that. And you probably already know the story, but I was away from my collection for 10 weeks and I had to get this building done. So I did the Jurassic Park collab. I did the Tricky Lug collab. I did the Micropolis collab. I did the bunkers, the underground bunker collab, and I also did the Harborside collab. So I did 5 collabs at that. It was crazy. I know. I was a mad woman building.
If you like group projects,
yeah,
do collabs.
Definitely. Well, it's also
like
a great way to meet people too. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's Lego. It's fun. But yeah, Steve brings up a good point. Yeah.
Don't put too many plans in place. It goes
don't
so
feel
quickly.
like you have to schedule out the whole day or the whole week.
Yeah, no, you don't have to do that.
It's fun to just walk around the convention, just do a lap, and if people are by their MOCs, talk to them for a minute, say something nice about their MOC, Just say, I like that detail and that.
Or just say,
So,
interesting. Right.
well, yeah, but don't
That's
say
what
it
I
in a
get.
mean
I
way.
get people are going, oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Nice use of
But
gray.
another thing too, I mentioned that I paid for 2 of my contractors to come to the convention in Bricks by the Bay. I told them, you have to bring a mock. Not necessarily because of something you feel like you have to do for, the accolades or the trophies, but if you show up as a mock builder, people treat you so much differently than if you're just there to be a spectator. Even if it's a small mock, and not only that, when you are building a mock, then you can go behind the bollards and the guards, the guardrails, and just being on the other side of the guardrails versus the public is
Yeah,
a huge
like you don't
difference.
want to get lumped in with the public. They're animals.
Have done a habitat collab? We did one with builds in single color. Yes, actually,
For color. Yeah.
I have done a habitat collab before, not at Bricks Cascade, but I have done them before. And yes, that's another way to put together something really amazing with a bunch of people if you standardize on some guidelines. Yeah, great point. Okay. Video, the first person in-person meeting, and share with us, please. Oh, I guess we could. So Remy, should we get like somebody
we could go like
video?
full reality show. Yeah, we could go full reality show with it and like do like 3 or 4 takes. And is that what you want, Brickstress?
It's like, where is he? I don't recognize him.
We could put the lights on. Yeah, we could be like, we could set it up so like we're walking past each other constantly, and like we just walk past
Debo's
each other for 3
here.
days, and then on the way
Hey,
off.
Debo. How's it going?
Hey.
Yeah,
what's going on,
we're
Debo?
just talking about conventions, about what to do, what to plan for, what to expect. Oh, here's another tip, is that if you have one of those rolling carts, like I have one of these collapsible carts, it looks like it's like a little wagon. Mine's blue, but if you can imagine like a little red wagon that you can pull with you, that it's so great to have that to be able to load things in. Another tip is bring a chair, because sometimes, so I have these folding chairs that I bring with me, that you use for camping, where they have, the little sack that you can put over your arm. So yeah, bring a chair with you, because sometimes if you're behind the scenes, they might have some chairs, but they're all taken. So that's another tip, is bring a chair with you, so that when you're at the convention, you have some place to sit. And Lena's hyped for BrickCon. Yeah, that's not until October. We have a whole bunch of conventions coming up right now, which probably is a good discussion. Okay, so we talked about before. We talked about during. What else do we need to talk about with during? Anything I've missed?
Well, during, I think we need to talk about being safe with COVID still in the air.
Good point.
So I don't know if you all saw this, but the government, the U.S. government just announced that you can get 8 more free COVID tests if you sign off on the website. So go get your free COVID tests, take your rapid test before you travel, and, wear a mask at the convention. And one thing that cosplayers do, I don't know if it's been like widely adopted in the Lego community, is like cosplayers will have like the armband colors for like, red is like, please social distance. Yellow is like, come up and say hi to me. Green is like, come up and give me a hug, whatever, if you know me. But just, respect people's personal boundaries.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And hand sanitizer as well. That was another thing that at Bricks Cascade, they had hand sanitizer everywhere. And so, just that courtesy to make sure you do that. I tend to do elbow bumps with people.
Yeah, you can do elbow bumps.
So just, we're gonna get that on video of you and I elbow bumping.
Yeah, it's just what people are comfortable with. And remember, you wear the mask because, if I'm sick, I don't want to get somebody else sick. That's why you wear the mask. So
I totally agree with you on that.
Take care of your take care of your fellow AFOLs and KFOLs, because there are going to be, kids at some of these conventions.
Yeah, and especially Bricks by the Bay. We talked about this earlier. Some conventions allow kids, others don't.
Yeah.
This one is a very kid-friendly convention.
Yep.
So, and they even have a teen category, which I had shown on the other screen, that you could register something for a teen mock. And I think the rule is that if you do register a teen, you have to have the adult registered as well.
Okay. That's good.
Okay, so masking up is the most important. Please
Don't
go if you're feeling symptoms. Yes.
Yeah.
Good point. Thank you. All right.
The
so we
last
talked about masking.
heard, I thought that they did have a vaccine policy, but this may be out of date information. I don't know what their official policy is, because they're going by like California state guidelines. So I don't know exactly what their policy is at this moment.
I'm gonna look on the website while you're chatting.
Yeah, originally, because that was one of the reasons I want to go, because like Brick Fair Virginia was like nobody was wearing masks, nobody cared. It was like I could not deal with it. And even it would be nice to see more of the cast of Lego Masters taking more of a leadership role in this area, but we can't rely on that. But yeah, originally the policy was requiring proof of vaccination for attendees and masks. But they also said they were going by the state guidelines. So I don't know. Yeah.
I'm still looking for it. I don't see the specific policy out there. It might be under code of conduct, but
maybe.
I will say Bricks Cascade was really good about communicating all of that on their website. They sent lots of emails. They had a Discord server. So I will give kudos to them because I have not seen as much communication from Bricks by the Bay for that. But I'm not seeing a COVID policy here.
Let me see if I can see the most recent email I got from them.
Yeah, it might be in the email announcement. But okay, so we talked about that. And then the reason why I talked about the wagon is because when it comes to teardown, that having some kind of cart or set of rolling wheeled equipment, I mean, there's a variety of things that people will do, but I swear by that rolling cart. So I will have to either talk to a friend who has one to borrow it while I'm at Bricks by the Bay, because I'm going to be flying this time instead of driving. But if I was driving, I would absolutely pack that and bring that with me. Fun tuning in. You got to head off. No problem. Have fun parenting. Have a good day. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate that.
Okay, so most recent email I have from them says masks are strongly encouraged but not required.
Okay, well, policies change like the weather.
Yeah, yes, unfortunately, like the CDC doesn't know what they're doing, and that.
Well, yeah, this is another point too. Slug Biker mentioned Bricks Cascade dropped all of their restrictions after Friday. They had required proof of vax and all wearing masks. That's because the state of Oregon and the state of Washington all stopped their policy, I think, on the Saturday. So it was interesting because that was the day of the public, and I was still wearing my mask. I know people like Blair were wearing double masks, because the regular randos were coming in, and it's a real thing. Definitely, we still have to be careful.
Yeah, well, don't come talk to me if you ain't got a mask on. That's all I'm saying. No mask. No, I don't want to know you.
Okay, well,
go to the Mega Blocks convention.
So I think we can probably segue now, unless there are questions, because I guess the last thing about the convention, as far as what to do afterwards, is make sure you fill out any review forms, because that helps the coordinators communicate back to Lego how the convention did and what's the feedback, how can you change things. And that helps for the following year. Yes, and Blair also had that Lego mask too, but he also had a double mask underneath that. Yeah, it was insane. Oh, that's true. Bricks Cascade didn't have to drop their
You
mask
know,
requirement just because the city changed.
this
That's
is
true.
this is
That's
also
true.
like a lack of leadership on the parts of, conventioneers, convention organizers. And no, they don't have to, but they do, unfortunately. Yeah.
So Vicarious Brickster says, Remy, you need to wear a red armband with
Yeah.
flashing lights.
Flashing lights, like, do not approach. Do not approach.
Actually, okay, so now that we've kind of wrapped
Mask,
up the discussion of the, because you mentioned vests, because I think that this is something that we were talking about, the Brick Scouts. So I'm just going to segue a little bit now, if that's okay. I know we're already an hour and 15 minutes in.
I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't know
tell me
what the
about
Brick Scouts are. The Brick Scouts were formed on May 12th. So that was only last Thursday. And what happened is we were talking about, and I've done this on my stream a lot, where I talk about when you have a set, just build it in a tray, open the box like a tray. And then if you're traveling, if you're on an airplane, you can build it right there on the airplane. And then you have, all your parts will be, contained. Well, during that episode, that was a Thrifty Thursday episode, we started talking about sets like the botanicals. And if you take the tulips, for example, that's I think a $12.99 set. We are the Brick Scouts. Yes, we are. And,
are we?
Well, here's the thing, right? Is that if let's just say as a group, we say you're going to do a good deed with bricks, and let's take the tulip set, and the next time you're on an airplane, build it on the airplane, and then give the tulips to the flight attendants as a thank you.
That's cute.
And it was one of those magical moments that happened. That was a conversation with the chat. It was a discussion of some of the things that I've done before. And we were talking about how flight attendants right now, they're spit on. They've been attacked because of the mask policies. They're not very well appreciated. And this is something that we could do kind of as a good deed moving forward. When you brought your orchid to the hotel, here's another option. Next time you're at a hotel and you bring a small set with you, like the little botanicals, the succulents, I'm thinking that's 9 different people that I could give one of these to, right? So you could give one to the maitre d' who's at the restaurant. You could give one to the maid who worked on your room. You could give one to the front desk person. It could be something, and maybe that's a little pricey because those are $50 sets, but you can reach 9 people with that. So caution, caution, flight attendant.
You don't want to get the air marshal.
Take it as an unwanted advance and sick the air marshal on you.
Well,
that's a good point. You did bring up a good point. You just leave it
I will be careful about doing it. Naomi doesn't have to really be careful about doing that. Most people don't, but I will be careful. I won't be like, "Hey, lady, here's a rose."
It's like, especially after you've had several drinks on the plane, right?
Yeah.
And exactly. So Lena has the point too, is that you could just leave it with a note, and it doesn't have to be the succulents. It could be, a smaller set that you built, and they could say, maybe if you want this for your child or you want this for yourself, but I'm leaving this here for you.
Yeah.
We don't call them maids anymore. Okay. Sorry. What do we call them?
Yeah, just housekeeping. Catch-all housekeeping.
Room attendant. So the room attendants, So leave them for the room attendants.
Yeah.
I have to preface this. I said this at the beginning of the chat before you arrived, Joel. I've been watching a lot of Peaky Blinders recently. So if I fall into that language, it's because I've been programmed.
Hey, if you fall into that, talk to the maids and whatnot. And, oh wait, no, it's Irish, isn't it? That's totally the wrong accent.
It's Irish. You got to do an Irish accent.
I cannot do an Irish accent.
Throw me a whiskey, will ya? They're drinking whiskey, smoking guitars, smoking cigars, cigarettes.
Yeah.
I won't go on into all the other things that happen on that show, but they do call them maids. So my apologies if I've offended anybody.
But yeah, I don't think that's what we're saying, Slugbiker. I think that's his, this is in
Yeah, they may want
addition.
to rather have cash.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
catch tips.
Maybe. This is
Yeah,
a
don't
different group. I
you
think we
know
have to float this on the Thursday group. This
don't
group
don't
doesn't
tip
seem to like
your
the idea.
don't tip your service personnel with Lego. That's like giving lottery tickets. Don't do that. No, this is just a little extra. You know,
We were just thinking about what are
yeah,
nice things that you could do for people
yeah,
with Lego, which is why
yeah.
we said the Brick Scouts. And nobody here is required to join the Brick
Mhm.
Scouts. If you think this is totally off the wall and don't want to have anything to do with it, there's completely optional. But
But
there
yeah,
are a group of us who
yeah,
are we're really really excited about the idea. This
for
group doesn't
people
seem
that
that excited about it.
no, well, for
Anyway.
people that you don't normally tip, like flight attendants, that's a nice thing you can do for them. Yeah,
Hey,
less
pretty
coherent, but that's
lady.
that's how
Here's a
that's how it
flower.
go down. Man was
Okay.
tased at LAX and held
We'll
overnight
talk about this on
after
the Thursday stream
airplane
because
incident.
this group doesn't really seem that they like the idea. Those of you who are interested, we did set up a Brick Scouts page on Facebook,
Mhm,
completely optional. Nobody here is required,
mhm,
but there was a group of us who were very excited about the idea. And when we were talking about vests, we were thinking that, yeah, we could identify at a convention as Brick Scouts trying to do good deeds,
mhm.
having a special logo. In fact, I have this little brick mascot we
That's a
had
little brick
built on
mascot.
stream, and that this was just because we were building the Iron Man set, so we came up with the same
Mhm.
colors as the Iron Man set. So, oh, you do think it's a dope idea? Okay,
Yeah,
all
well,
right.
anything to
I
make the
wasn't getting
lives
that
of,
vibe from the
you
chat,
know,
so
we're,
thank you for letting me
well,
know.
we're just being silly, but anything to make the lives of service personnel that you encounter is good, because yeah, those people still have it rough.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that was the
yeah,
intent, and I think to spot the magic ninja, you have a good point. Yeah, it's about paying it forward,
mhm,
and it's also this, but this brings up a good point that if you want to do this, you probably should ask permission from the person receiving it, saying, I'm
yeah.
here to do a good deed. Would you
Would you
like
like a
this, or
tulip?
should I give it to somebody else? It's like give them the option to say no. Don't
Yeah,
force it on them, right? You wouldn't want to force something like that. You think it's
yeah,
a cool idea, just making sure that
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
something extra.
Still
Oh,
tip
yeah,
your
yeah, not
hotel
in
people.
lieu of a tip, but,
Yeah.
so, like, Remy, the other day, he had his orchids that were in the background, and he was staying at a hotel room, and it's just,
Yeah,
that
nobody's
is
saying that.
was a nice decoration for him to enjoy while he was enjoying the room, but you could also leave it there and just
Mhm.
say, "Would you like this orchid?"
Yeah,
Or you could, take it down and bring it back home, or you can bring a smaller set because that's a pretty big set, right? You
yeah,
probably want to take a smaller set. And that's why
yeah,
Thrifty Thursday is great. What we might do is start identifying Thrifty Thursday sets that qualify for this kind of Brick Scout incentive kind of thing. But oh, you think it's a dope idea. We're just dopes.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't getting a lot of
We're working on
positive
it.
from the chat. So thank you for clarifying. Yeah, it was kind of like I was like, "Whoa." Yeah, so anyway, okay, we
Mhm.
talked about what to do before a convention, what to do during a convention, how to clean up and make sure you submit some feedback to the coordinators. And yep, we're getting ready to wind this stream down too, Slug Biker. And just wanted to say the upcoming conventions that we know of are Brick World Chicago, which is the weekend before Bricks by the Bay. So we are
Mhm.
going to be at Bricks by the Bay June 23rd. So I believe it's the weekend before that. So I'm going to say, what, the 15th or so? So we are going to be at Bricks by the Bay. And then the week after that is Brick Rodeo, which is going to be in Houston, Texas, I believe, if I got that right. And
Yeah, I
then
think
I
so.
think the next one after that might be Brick Slopes. So just if there's a particular convention that you are thinking about, we gave you some tips about what to look for. And also while you're at the convention, make sure you enjoy yourself because that time is going to just fly by.
Yeah, it goes quick. But of course, if you have a significant other and you don't want to go anywhere, and they also build Lego, every day can be Bricks by the Bay Day. Hashtag
Actually, you brought up a
Bricks by the Bay.
good thing. Bricks by the Bay.
So,
well, you brought up another good point too. There is usually a friends and family day the day before the public is allowed in. So usually Friday night, they'll set aside a couple hours. So if there are friends and family that are interested in what you're doing, that's a great time to see the show without a lot of crowds. So that's another thing to consider when you're planning your time at the show.
Yeah. Or if you have an insane flight and you arrive a day earlier, like me.
Yeah. I'm planning to get there Thursday.
Oh,
so
okay.
Friday will be
Wednesday.
set up. And then friends and family, I think, is that night. And then Saturday's when the public shows up. I will look for that checklist. I've already asked James, one of the coordinators for Bricks Cascade, if I could share that. So I'm pretty sure I have permission, but they got to get their server back up. So once that happens.
Yeah.
Oh, this is funny. Yeah. I tuck a slip of paper with build instruction links into the gifts.
Yes.
Okay.
But...
All right, my friends. So thank you for hanging out with us, talking about BrickConventions. I think we are going to broadcast next week, maybe, but stay tuned. We'll make an announcement. I'm pretty sure that we still have Aubrey who will be coming back either on the 1st or the 8th. We still have to nail that down. I'm going to reach out to the Jurassic Park collaborators that I work with, because Jurassic Park World Dominion or Jurassic World Dominion is coming out
Jurassic
on
Park
the 10th of June. So we want to have a chat about that. And yeah, any other topics that you think might be of interest, please let us know. And don't forget, please like and subscribe to the stream. I keep forgetting to always add that. But make sure that you like and subscribe to the stream. You've been watching the Brickanista Broadcast Network. We also have the weekend brick limit. So on this weekend, we'll have a couple of different days that you can build based on the number of pieces matched to the day. And if you want to send me a note, the Brickanista Broadcast Network, P.O. Box 31956, Seattle, Washington, 98103. And please follow Brick Literacy on Instagram. Great having you all with us. And thank you, Debo, Vicarious Brickstress, Spot the Magic Ninja, Slug Biker, Hefsteads Will Travel. I think Lena was here too. Also Steve's Brick Cave. Everybody who's been hanging out with us. Thank you so much for all your support and all the fun chat too. It's been great hanging out with you. And as they say on the Brickanista Broadcast Network, may the clutch be with you. Take care. Bye.